This is Smoking Out the Closet. Now, here are your hosts.
Hi, I'm Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And welcome back to another episode of Smoking Out the Closet. For those of you who are new or just joining us for the first time, welcome. We are a queer podcast that talks about cannabis,
The LGBT community,
and everything in between.
and beyond.
So welcome.
Welcome. You missed our pun in there, by the way.
Yeah.
We're a
podcast.
podcast, pun intended.
Hey, listen, this strain, while it's not really great with medical stuff, it's got me smacked.
Yeah.
Alright, so do you want to introduce... Wait, was this my pick this time?
It was your pick this time.
Oh, yeah, okay. You're gonna have to help me pronounce it then.
Okay.
So today we got a product from Belushi Farms, the...
Dozicot.
Dozicot? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Which Belushi is grown as a white label here in Pennsylvania from Biddle Farms. And we used the MJ Arsenal Basin Bubbler today instead of our usual Blazy Susan cones. And I don't know if it was the weed, I don't know if it was the bubbler, but it smacked me like a truck.
Yeah, it's Max.
You ground it this time. What was your thoughts?
It was rather sticky. The cure was really nice, broke apart really nice. Got some really nice pictures of it. Has some purples in there, some nice orange hairs. We had a nice secondary light set up. You'll see it on our Instagram of this flower. It's really pretty. It grows. It crackles when you light it too, so it has a lot of the trichome still intact after you grind it.
It definitely smelled really fresh.
It smelled amazing. It burned nice too.
Oh yeah. It's just it was okay, so the breakdown is it's got 23.44% THCA, 0.259 THC, so roughly around 23.5 THC. Then its other highest cannabinoid is CBG at 0.167. But the terps were really lackluster on it. Total terps is 0.614. It's kind of lacking in terps, and we felt it.
Especially because I just bought some flour that's 32% and has 1.2% on it.
Oh yeah,
there's some good stuff that's been coming out recently.
Yeah, some of the Natural Selections products have had a full percentage of myrcene in it, which is ridiculously high.
I've seen stuff with almost a full percent of terpenoline, and terpenoline's one of the hardest to find cannabinoids.
Yeah, I think
not cannabinoids.
Terpenes.
I am so sorry.
The terpenoline.
Terpenoline.
Try saying that 12 times
brain
fast.
All sorts of scrambled.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a great high. It was great as a high.
Yeah.
But also I should say Vital Zone by PA Options for Wellness. That's the parent company name. But Vital brand products, if you see here in PA. I mean it's a great high, but that was it. That's all it was. It was a good high. Great for a wake and bake like we did this morning.
Yeah.
But the highest terpene is limonene at 0.13, myrcene at 0.141, followed by limonene at 0.138. Everything, and then linalool at 0.112. Everything is 0.27 and lower. It's great, and I'm sure it's a great genetic from actual Belushi Farm, and I would love to go out to California and try it actually out there.
Yeah.
I think they're based in California, or maybe it's Colorado, I can't remember. But actually try Belushi Farm products where it's supposed to be from, and it definitely would probably be better that out there,
Yeah.
I gave this a 3.8. It's really good for a high, but there's nothing else to it.
Yeah, I gave it a 3.5. Same reason. It was tasty. Nice high. No medicinal effects. My mind was still kind of anxious, general anxious. Which, this is even more important now, because that I find a nice strain for my anxious, because changing some medications and things around, so, very helpful, but this one, not so much.
No, I totally get that, and that's something that, we definitely got to keep an eye out on. And, that's the thing why we do it here for, Pennsylvania. Most of our products, if they're actually, products, we'll tell you when we do out of state, but we will let you know when we do that, and because not a lot of people talk about Pennsylvania weed, East Coast weed, honestly, except for New York. So
Yeah, I feel like they've been in the spotlight the most with their stuff with like the reservations up there.
Mhm.
Ohio, that's their Midwest though. They have been talked about with their recreational, like their adult use coming
Yeah.
through. So
The other side is Florida. Florida's been a big topic lately too, just because of all the potential adult use there.
yeah,
Speaking of Ohio, little segue. Nice for that. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Did you mean to set me up that way?
No, not really.
Okay. So can I talk about the tour I did?
Absolutely.
So recently, I'm not going to say the company I work for, but recently, I was part of a group that went to the grow facility for my company to tour what a grow facility looks like, because it was honestly like half the distance one way for us to go to Ohio instead of going out to the other side of the state. So logistically, it was just easier for us to go to another state and tour the facility. Now, we couldn't buy anything, obviously, yet. But because they are talking about, I kept referring it to AU, like adult use. They kept saying AU, and all I could think of was my nerdy fanfic brain going, alternate universe?
Alternate universe? What?
So, okay, so I'm not going to give super, super specific things on, like, name brands, anything that, like, is going to talk about the process, who the company is, just so I don't accidentally be, like, accused of, like, insider trading.
Yeah.
But also to minimize the amount of link to the company I am, because I like being able to be free and talk about what I want to talk about with whatever I'm talking about with this podcast.
Yes, because this is our own opinions and not the opinions of the people that we work for, and that's why we like to keep our work for who we work for separate from our podcast. So, like, I did the same thing when I went to our grow facility.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to hear about your experience.
Did we ever talk about your experience at the grow on the show?
I think so.
Okay. I don't remember.
If we didn't, we should. But I want to hear about your experience.
Okay, so I saw from beginning to end, not in exact order though, which was funny. It was a lot smaller than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, it's still a big building. But apparently this exact one used to have a dispensary attached to it. And then the dispensary moved, and they were able to capitalize on it, and it's just been better ever since.
Yeah.
So good news for people who consume in Ohio. When we first got in, we had to get cleared, obviously, and we had to have our IDs and everything to make sure that we're even allowed and old enough to be in the building.
Yeah.
So we get the passes temporarily. We don't even use them because we're being led by one of the higher ups in the facility.
Yeah.
And so we go through and we start our tour kind of with the final step in a way, which is really cool. So we see how everything. So the first step we did, we actually saw how everything is molded.
Yeah.
And with like molds and how, like, because in Ohio they have gummies, they have mints, they have chocolate.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we got to see the gummies being made, and I could smell it before I even got close to it. Because, like, the moment we went through that first set of doors and actually in the building proper,
yeah,
I could smell like a fruity candy smell, and I'm like, that smells good. So we go in there, we watch it, and it's one person doing it. And I'm like, okay, but I see the machine's pumping out like a mold like every 2 minutes almost. So, like, those molds are like in a big sheet, so you could probably get like a jar, like a 10, 20 pack just for every 2 minutes roughly. So I'm like, okay, that's you don't really need a whole lot of people for that, but strange you only have one person doing the entire thing with one machine. Later down the road, fast forward a little bit, we did get to see how the chocolate machine and the mint machine were, but they were not operating, so they must have already had enough to not need it.
Yeah.
We got to see how they oil. We actually got to see the butane and all that, or BHO. What I'm seeing is butane, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We got to see their extraction process and like how they do stuff, why they do stuff, what they use. We got to see the cartridges being filled.
That's always fun.
And how the caps are put on.
That's fun.
And in the same room, we saw them filling the jars for the gummies on a conveyor belt, like it was like lined up, putting through, they put sugar on there, so it actually did that sugar mix there.
That's fun.
And then you just saw them dumping it in, and they're putting it in boxes, and they put those boxes to the side, and it goes through a label maker.
Yeah.
And then we saw the same thing with the cartridges.
That's
so
awesome.
That was fun. I think that was actually the part where we saw the most people in one area. Mostly just because like there was like a couple people on this station, a couple people on this station, a couple people on this station, but it's not a heavy staff, Liddy.
Wow.
Even with all the stuff they were doing.
Yeah.
Because apparently in Ohio you can't really build outward, so when the like whatever you have is what you got for like medical facilities,
That's
like with cannabis. So when the dispensary left, they took the portion where the dispensary was, and then they just got rid of the drop ceiling and capitalized on the height. Because it's a pretty tall building. So we got to see how they inspect stuff, how they actually test things. We got to see how they sort it, which was really cool. They have like this like grate thing, and like they trim it, and they just kind of go by sizes with the grates and the holes. So that's really cool. And then we got to see how they test stuff, how they dry stuff. They weren't drying anything at the time, but also apparently some strains are just naturally wet in a way, so they actually have like an additional drying step room if they need to. We got to see the plants from every section. I mean, every section. Like, we got to see the clones, the mothers, the plants that are going to be mothers, because apparently in Ohio, the current practice they're doing is you clone a mother once, and then you put the mother into the rotation after it's been cloned to sell the buds off of it.
Interesting.
Which is really smart, because strain got into a problem where they cloned a mother too much and then stopped producing viable clones, so I think that's a way to get around it.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and that's why you see a lot of strain die off here. Speaking of strain, they have had, I think, at least 3 or 4 different strains right now that they're said you need to get the rest of it. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Crush was one of them that's just recently gone. I don't know, their mac and cheese has come and go. I hope they didn't kill their macs.
Yeah, and they were smart, and because they're doing according to the main guy who grows there, what they're doing is the current best practice. I don't think this is insider trading, because I think, according to him, everybody in the state of Ohio is doing this, and everybody's doing this or should be doing it in different groceries across the country.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is they would he worked for a different company, and then he came to our company. And basically what it was you would produce extra batches of clones, extra batches of mothers, and then you would have like X amount of extras, and then you would destroy them if you didn't use them. What the current method is you just have a couple extra clones to turn into mothers, and if they don't turn into mothers, or if you don't need them for the extra cloning process, because I think they have like 3 or 4 mothers per strain, they just get rid of it, which is significantly less waste on their side for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk about how they get rid of stuff and how that operates, because that's gonna, it's weird for Ohio, because like how we dispose of things here in PA and how Ohio disposes of things are totally different.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a liability issue, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we got to see the mother plants, and then we got to see the plants that are like 30 days grown, where they're starting to have the spindles for the buds to form and grow. And then I got to see the plants right before harvest.
Those are gorgeous. I love like leaning in, you can smell the flower.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at my watch, because they said it was going to be the next Monday. It is the next Monday. Today's the harvest day.
Oh, cool.
And I was talking to like the head grower guy. They let me go up on a scissor lift.
Yeah.
And I got to see the plants up close and everything. They thought I was afraid of heights, because I put my like fist on the inside, like pushed against the sides of the rails for the scissor lift. And I'm like, no, I just have brain from a head injury, and I'm wearing sunglasses inside because of how bright this is. I just don't want, light-induced vertigo when I'm up in the air.
Yeah, wouldn't be good.
No, that would be a bad time. But yeah, the smell. This is my first interaction with live cannabis, like the plants itself, and the smell was heavenly. They had a lot of strains we don't have here in
Yeah.
PA. Like Rotten Teeth.
Interesting.
That's a weird one. And then they had like Orange Pop or Orange Rock Pop or something like that.
Yeah.
And a couple others. It was very interesting. I'm like, why can't we get these? These sound fun. But they also don't have a lot of genetics we have. So I guess it's kind of whatever the head honchos in the company want to give.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really nice. There was one that really stuck out, was a white Dangy.
Ooh.
And it looked beautiful. So I'm very excited to kind of be like, hey, can we see again? Like, what did it look like at the end? I didn't take any pictures just for liability safety wise. Yeah. I did ask. No one had a straight answer for me before he left, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna. That being said, though, the regional director who took us out there did quickly snag a couple pictures. So I'm like, hey, boss man, can I have a pic? But yeah, it was great. It was a fun time. I got to learn a lot, how they do stuff, why they do stuff, and how. The only thing that they were confused on, just as much as I'm confused on, is their scale, like their weight system for flour.
Yeah, it's so weird out there.
They do not like it at all. But no, it was a good time. I was the only one from my store, unfortunately, so I felt a little out of place. But as the tour got on, I kind of warmed up more to the rest of the folks on the field trip.
The stoner field trip.
It was literally a stoner field trip. We got like a transit van.
Yeah.
We were supposed to originally have like, I think 12 or 14 people. And it ended up being 10.
Oh.
So we had some wiggle room in the car.
Yeah.
Or van, I guess. But yeah, it was kind of a stoner field trip. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I liked hearing your side of it, and then like thinking about, my trip to the grow too. It was just like you said, that smell is like nothing else. And when you were talking about it, it just kind of reminded me of when I went, and just that first experience with a live plant. It's like nothing else.
It really isn't, and I can't wait for like home grow to become a thing here in PA. I really want it to be a thing here in PA, just so I can try growing my own plants.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. It's soon. I hope it's soon. We're gonna say it's soon. We're gonna manifest this. We're gonna get adult use in home grow. It's gonna happen.
Before we go to the next topic real quick, as I'm about to drink some here in a second, can we talk about a little shout out to Costco
Absolutely.
and Capri Sun? So, I think I first saw it on TikTok, but Costco's selling 3-quart jugs in a 2-pack. So it's 6 quarts for like, what was it, like $6-7?
Yeah.
Of Capri Sun fruit punch.
And this one doesn't have any artificial dyes or preservatives or anything in it.
And like I'm loving this.
It tastes just like it did in childhood in the purchase, but it's adult size now.
Yeah, and you mixed it with
I mixed it with with whipped vodka, whipped Pinnacle, and it tasted so good.
Yeah, I just needed a drink real quick, and I still have like a little bit left.
I brought
next
mine
to me
upstairs too. It's right beside me.
So do yourself a favor, get some of that Capri Sun mix if you like Capri Sun, and not mixed, but like jugs.
Yeah, that's so good.
Do you want to bring up the next topic?
Yeah, let me see. Right, so you can talk about this one. I found it on High Times from the 13th of May,
Which is today.
This morning actually. And it's cannabis products recalled in Arizona over possible contamination. I did a little bit of research before the podcast. I was looking at this article, and it was due to a fungus called Aspergillus. And it's 700 different mold species that are found in a bunch of different climates. It's very problematic whenever it is ingested by people with compromised immune systems, like medical patients. And that causes a thing called aspergillosis, which is a group of diseases caused by this mold. which is usually paranasal sinus infections, which can also then turn into like pneumonia situations with all the fluid and stuff if you don't get that out of your system, which can the symptoms include fever, cough, chest pain, breathlessness, which also occur in other illnesses, which makes this diagnosis very difficult. Other lung conditions, people with lung conditions are also susceptible. You can have acute invasive aspergillosis, which is a form that grows in the surrounding tissue. With the weakened immune system, such as AIDS or people going through chemotherapy. So people who would use strains with if some of these strains had high CBG, that would be very bad for those people going through chemotherapy. You can have allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis, which affects patients with respiratory diseases. So the bronchopulmonary diseases, those are the ones that affects the bronchi in your lungs, which are what actually distribute the oxygen to your blood. So that's real bad. I don't know if anybody else has watched Rick and Morty, but the Anatomy Park episode where they're in the lungs and you see all those little bulbous things, those are bronchi.
Okay.
You can also get aspergillosis, which is a fungus ball that can form in the cavities of your lungs. So this fungus can literally just grow in your lungs. And then estimated invasive aspergillosis, which is an infection that this fungus, if it's untreated, will just grow throughout your body and just start growing all over things and basically stealing oxygen and resources from your body.
No, thank you. I don't want that.
So this is this is bad. And like, let's see here if there's a little bit more detail, because I dove straight into what the hell is this? This is some sort of weird mold. The agency said the laboratory auditors with the Department of Health Service, quote, we were made aware of errors in testing results, leading to potentially false negative results for the contaminant. Once the Arizona Department of Health Services discovered the potential contamination, they contacted the facility that produced the products. The licensee took immediate action to work with all distribution and retail partners to remove any potentially impacted products from the shelves, the agency said in this week's announcement. The product was voluntarily recalled by the flower shop, according to the Phoenix New Times. The product is, quote, sold in the flower shop's 3 Metro Phoenix, distributed to nearly 170 other dispensaries across Arizona. Product recalls are a reality of any legal cannabis market. Arizona legalized rec in 2020 when voters passed the ballot measure that ended prohibition. And then they began selling cannabis in January of 21.
Nice.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm glad there's measures, and this is exactly why there are measures to prevent these kinds of things happening, and I'm glad there was a recall put out. But, like, due diligence needs to be done more on the grower side as well. I mean, I get it, human error stuff goes through, but, like, this is why there's a lot of things, like the grow facility, they were talking about how they use certain things up to a certain point, and then the rest of it with mold is pretty much just maintaining the temperature and the humidity in a room, and if that goes off even just a little, there's going to be issues.
Yeah, we need to be more precautionary than reactionary.
Exactly.
But yeah, some real serious shit, and these guys need to... I'm really glad they caught this, because that could cause a whole lot of problems.
A whole slew of problems. Is there anything else you want to add from that?
No.
Okay. Real fast, before we go on our break, I want to wish, it's a little late in this episode, so we're recording our episodes a week ahead of time right now, kind of going, so I have like a week to edit, since we're on that bi-weekly schedule now. But Mother's Day was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to every mom, including my mom and your mom.
Yeah.
So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
As well as to every mom who is a single parent, single moms who have adopted their kids, moms who have gone through in vitro fertilization, used a surrogate, trans moms, queer moms, moms who have it all, and moms who feel like they're struggling. Just want to say happy Mother's Day to you all. And you all got this.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
Alright, well, I think we're going to go on a little bit of an earlier break, and we'll be back after a quick word from one of our affiliate programs. Pretty in pink and purely wood pulp derived, Blazy Susan pink rolling papers and cones will add a pop of color to your next smoke sesh. Their classic pink papers are naturally dyed, vegan, GMO-free, and food safe. They contain no amounts of heavy metals or pesticides unlike other paper producers. Care about what goes in your lungs with Blazy Susan papers and cones. Use promo code BGSOTC20 at checkout to get 20% off with your friends at Smoking Out the Closet. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $50 in the United States. And we are back. So this later half, I guess, of the show or episode, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be doing the Big Mad.
Big Mads.
So, warning for all of those, we are about to get on our soapboxes and get really mad. Can I go first?
Absolutely.
So Target. Have you heard about Target?
What they do now?
Proving that their corporate allyship was only financially based. The company that a few years ago was like, hey, these trans bathroom bills, we're not going to stand for it. We're going to actually put our money where our mouth is. And now, either thanks to COVID or a change of CEOs, I'm not 100% sure, they're only looking out for their profits and their bottom dollar. Target is no longer selling Pride merch, with the exception of in over half of their stores.
Is that why we didn't see any at the...
That's probably why.
God damn it.
They're no longer selling Pride merch in over half their stores in the United States, which is like 2,000 stores across the country. They're not selling them. And 1,000 of them.
You know, I already didn't like shopping there because they're anti-union, so I'm not going to shop there anymore.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
And they're selling it online, though. You can buy it online.
But not in the store.
Yeah, so here's my notes on it. Target officials state that they are limiting the number of stores that will be selling Pride merch this year. According to them, the ones that will be selling merch will only be in adult apparel and home goods products. So no Pride kid merch. So kids like my little sister who are 13 and know their sexuality and or gender identity
can't get Pride merch in their size.
Or if they have like, look, I have two moms. I can get a shirt that says, I love my two moms, or my two dads, or I love both my parents. They can't get that now either. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Shame on you, Target. Fucking shame on you.
Oh, there's more, but it's from people like Adam Calhoun, that one guy that came in and said Make America Straight Again shirt and was like blowing up and showing those videos of like, look, they're targeting kids. Because it was a shirt that says protect trans kids. Yeah, fuck that guy. You know he's a veteran?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't like him at all. He'd be one of those people that would throw you under the bus under Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Yeah, 100%. Buddy fucker. Blue Falcon. Let's see here. Where was I? Target spokesperson said in a statement to CNN that it's, quote, committed to supporting, end quote, the LGBT community during Pride Month, citing internal programs and presence at local Pride events, including its hometown of Minneapolis. Quote, most importantly, we want to create a welcoming and supportive environment for all of our LGBTQIA plus team members, which reflect our culture and care for over 400,000 people who work at Target, the company said in a statement. Okay. You want to make it inclusive, but you're now limiting the amount of funds that are being generated back into GLAAD and other LGBT organizations to help protect them and provide services for them, as well as limiting the care and protection for your LGBTQIA plus employees. Because, like, one got attacked at a Target, and y'all did nothing.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So, these changes are, quote, sensible approach, Neil Saunders, manager directing retail for Global Data, told CNN, but he warned it runs the risk of Target being accused of not being proud of Pride. I'm going to edit that out. It runs the risk of Target being accused of not being proud of Pride. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not. Your allyship is very... There is a asterisk to your allyship. If you were really allies, Target, you would stand with us and still sell it in stores and everywhere, as is.
It's
Like you have been the last... I don't fucking know. What was it when that Lady Gaga album came out? Like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
So like 9 years?
Also, it's like whenever Pride Month rolls around, look at Twitter. I'm not calling it X still.
Yeah.
Fuck that. But look at Twitter. Look at who changes logo to rainbow, and also which accounts, what locations those accounts
what countries.
are from, what countries, and see if those accounts change their logo to rainbow, even if it's not legal there.
According to Neil Saunders, you'll get this. Unfortunately for Target, it has been dragged into the culture wars and is in a position where it can't win whatever it does, he says. Okay, this is not a culture war. This is bigotry and standing up. And here's my thing, right? They've also been like a lot of like Juneteenth and like a lot of pro people of color, pro black specifically.
Yeah.
Things and sections of Juneteenth, and they started selling merch like this. There was also a big blowback from racist assholes about that.
Yeah.
Well, so what are they going to do? They're just going to cancel that too? Because that's even shittier.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So, like, it's not a culture war. It's standing up for what is right.
Even in the face of adversity.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's they're just buckling down because it's hurting their bottom dollar. Because they were quoted saying, "Oh, well, we lost all this money because this happened." And I was like, "Yeah, you lost all this money because you stopped standing up for it, and you're blaming it on the far right extremists when it was actually the queer community that stopped supporting you."
Yeah,
and now you're gonna feel it even fucking more.
I haven't shopped at Target in a very long time. It's
Well,
convenient.
Target.
Yeah, it's convenient. More convenient for me to go to Target sometimes, but I will drive out of my way so I don't have to go to Target.
Yeah, like I don't think they understand that they are buckling down to extremists, thinking that it's going to save their bottom dollar when it is actually... Target has for years since they started going in the right direction, like I want to say almost a decade ago at least, has been considered the gay Walmart.
Yeah.
And now you're going to lose that, and that's going to be a big profit drop. Like everybody on Reddit, it doesn't matter what queer subreddit, actual lesbians, trans subreddit, every subreddit that is queer and even Discords have been saying, well, nice knowing Target.
Also, side note, since yous are union busters, working with your anti-union fucking coffee too.
Mm-hmm.
The queer people also used to give Starbucks a lot of money, and now guess what? They're not making money either, and guess who you're working with still? Fucking Starbucks.
Yeah.
And it's not like Barnes & Noble and you guys are just selling their products. No, these are licensed Starbucks cafes in those Target stores.
Yeah, that's also Target, or Starbucks used to be like the queer coffee shop.
Exactly. And then they dug themselves a fucking grave.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, bury yourself, I guess, with Starbucks if you want to.
The Human Rights Campaign has spoke on this, releasing a statement saying that selling Pride merchandise means something, and since the LGBTQIA plus community makes up 3% of Gen Z, which that number is only there because they feel safe enough, which thank fuck, they feel safe enough to identify and be who they are authentically.
Yeah.
Because you keep going back, it's been harder. HRC says companies need to understand that the community members and allies want businesses to express full-hearted support of the community. Target's decision is disappointing and alienates LGBTQ plus individuals and allies at the risk of not only their bottom line, but also their values. HRC President Kelly Robinson, sorry. This is me. This is just proof that corporations like Target's quote unquote allyship is only as good as their pockets aren't effective. Aren't I used the wrong one.
So good.
So here's my message to the board of directors, the CEO, the president, everybody that's like a higher up in Target, myself, and I'm going to be making this a clip and a soundbite and putting it on all my social medias and the podcast social media. To the heads of Target, I am deeply disappointed that you have buckled under the hatred towards people just to ensure you have a little extra money in your wallets. You have lost a big portion of your bottom dollar to save face in a group, or use just to save face to a group of bigoted or hate-filled bigoted people who make up less than even our community as a whole. Just know that we will remember this, and we were hoping and giving you an arm's length reach that slowly started getting shorter, and we bent that arm a little bit. But know that we remembered when you refused to let Lady Gaga's albums in your store.
Mm-hmm.
And then you changed for a little bit. But now we're seeing that corporate allyship is not real allyship.
No.
So I'm going to put a little shout out here. A couple little shout outs, and I'm going to open my Instagram for it. So if any of y'all want Pride merch that sells Pride merch all year round and is small, queer-owned businesses, look up Pride Nation Tees at Pride Nation Tees on Instagram. They are a really great t-shirt company. It's mostly apparel. And they are queer-owned. But also look up Rose Gold Shop. They are a queer Black women-owned company that also has apparel, accessories, binders, swimwear, shoes. They have a lot of cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
Support both of them because they sell Pride merch all year round. They actually donate money to organizations, and they're actually queer owned. Don't if you're gonna support a corporation, and these are small businesses in my opinion, they're not corporations.
Mm-hmm.
But if they ever get to the corporation status, make sure it is a queer owned corporation that you are supporting. Now,
You want to support queer people, give your money to actual queer people.
100%. Fuck you, Target. Get bent. Spin on it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add before you go to your topic?
I didn't think it could get worse with them. I'm just saying. Because it was just irritating, first of all. You backpedaled so far. We had so much progress. And now we're what? 10 years back where you guys were
At least.
At one point, I don't want us to forget they were adamantly anti-LGBT.
So yeah, very much.
Even before the Lady Gaga album issue.
Yeah, that's just... I feel like that's when it kind of started to change.
Yeah.
Because if I recall correctly, they kicked out that CEO and replaced it with someone else. But no, now apparently it's a culture war.
Hopefully they kick the fascists out too. So on the big mad train, here we go. From CNN News, updated on May the 11th. A trooper was involved in arrest of Philadelphia's head of LGBT affairs, quote, no longer employed by the state police.
Well, I remember we talked about this a while ago.
Did we?
Yeah, well, we talked about the original event itself.
I feel silly now.
No. We need an update. Thank you for sharing this update.
Oh, well, yes, it was an update. I was like, oh, then I don't have to share the video because the video was of the arrest.
Yeah, which is about a month or two old now. But yeah, we did originally talk about the actual event itself.
So yeah, I guess this is the update. The trooper who arrested the head of Philadelphia's LGBT affairs and her husband, an incident captured in a video circulating on social media, quote, is no longer employed by Pennsylvania State Police, the agency says. It was unclear whether the trooper, whose name has not been released, was let go or resigned, but he was out effectively on Friday. Pennsylvania State spokesman Lieutenant Adam Reed told CNN. The agency will not release additional information. He's been placed on restricted duty following the March 2nd incident and was not on parole during the investigation of the incident. The executive director of the city's Office of LGBT Affairs recorded a portion of her husband Darius McLean's arrest on Vine Street Expressway, her sister told CNN at the time. It doesn't say anything of if the... let me see if I can go on further here, if it says what happened to the trooper. Because I don't think they let any information go of, like, if he's on, paid leave or what the fuck's going on. Like, they didn't say if he quit or if he was fired.
They're just purposely super vague with this.
Yeah,
like
and
always.
then going back to refresh, they said that it was a quote multiple vehicle code violations is originally why they were pulled over, and they got verbally combative. Which you don't need to rehash the video. It's going to be in the link to the article. That's going to be in the show notes if you want to watch it again.
Yeah, and that's the thing that irks me because like we talked about it originally.
Yeah.
And from what I remember of our original discussion of it, while he was off duty, which I'm pretty sure you just confirmed and read again that he was not on the clock.
Yep.
So he's flaunting power in it with no authorization at that point. But also, there's a lot of times you see it in the South. They will create small, minor infractions or find small infractions as they let most people go away with. And then there's like, I'm a cop who's slightly racist. They don't think this, but they are a cop who's slightly racist. See a person of color in the car, and then we'll pull them over because they have that one minor infraction, which is not even really an infraction. It's like at most a $20 fine. Usually just be like, hey, your tail light's out. Just want to give you a warning there, bud. You want to get that fixed. And then they make documentation of it, but that's it.
Yeah.
And if they find, oh, hey, we just pulled you over last week for this and you still haven't gotten fixed, then they usually give you a ticket.
I will say,
The way
whenever
it
you
should work.
watch the video again, you can't hear Darius say, it's because I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
And then the officer's like, it's not because you're black.
And the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that we're missing in the clip, I will say.
Yeah.
And we don't have the original, like, thing of it. But here's my thing. If cop was in the right at all, and it was just multiple vehicle infractions, why did he get fired?
Or maybe, why did he quit? Did he blow up, like you said, made minor infractions and blow it up, and he didn't want to get found out? But that's the thing is, I don't know if the police department's going to give us this information, but they absolutely should, because we need to know whether they said, hey, standing up for, yeah, our officer did something wrong, and we're going to try to correct that, or it's just they're going to keep it vague. Like, and then this also plays back into police hate that we say ACAB and then fuck the system, but then you also have some that are retired policemen that say, yeah, it's corrupt, but then they don't want to step forward and say, yes, we have fired this individual based on XYZ reasons. It doesn't happen often enough to, like, allow them to correct that, so we're still gonna... This is still where we're at, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I really, and I'm trying to find, because there is a guy who, I'm kind of on the fence with him as a person. I still don't know fully where he stands on a lot of things, but his name's Donut Operator on YouTube. He does police video breakdowns when they get, like, really big, and he talks about them. And in his defense, in a lot of videos where the cops fuck up, he is a former cop, he actually says that, no, why'd you do that? And he'll actually say, God, this is going to set us back a few years. And he says that. And I will give him props for that. I don't know how he is with, like, LGBT stuff. I haven't seen anything personally negative yet, but I'm on the fence. But yeah, he didn't actually have one on that one, so I'm probably thinking it was like, he either didn't have enough information to make a call one way or the other, or he's also thinking something shady.
Yeah.
And because there is a phrase for a reason that I got reminded of thanks to one of my coworkers, DWB, driving while black.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of times where you'll see those minor infractions, and they'll just add stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff, and they will purposely take extra time just to find shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's for every cop, but it is enough to where the system is made where they're doing that. Because here's my thing. I will grant that I am a little more comfortable personally with state troopers because they have to actually follow the constitution of the state and the federal government to a T. But ones that are issued by the mayor and the city, they get away with so much shit.
Yeah, but the state trooper apparently didn't think he had to do that.
No, true. But yeah, it's a lot of bullshit. The whole system's fucked. I don't want to sound like I'm for the cop. I am, like I said then, like I'm saying now. The system is totally fucked, and it is not good because how the police system started in the country anyway, and why they started. So there's a lot of it. So it's not great. Now, there are some good cops. I have seen some good cops. I have seen some that have actually tried fixing the system.
There's always exceptions to the rule.
There are, but a lot of them get kicked out. A
Yeah.
lot of them get bullied out. So, it's sad to see. So hopefully this gets squared away. We actually see more information about the who's, the hows, the whys. Yeah, a lot of it is just, hey, this cop's no longer working for, okay, well, now we got to keep an eye out. What if he goes to another department? What if he goes to another state?
Yeah.
And is he going to pull the same shit again? Because, like I said, that they will find excuses for people they hate. There's been incidents where I've known someone who had a pride sticker on the back of their car. They got pulled over because they were borrowing, I think it was their partner's car or someone they had an LGBT sticker on the back of the car, but it was a manual. They haven't driven a manual in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of did that jerk gun lunge thing.
Yeah.
And the cop pulled him over for an aggressive race and gave him a ticket.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, so now imagine that cop wanted to be an extra asshole and just started to add, okay, you got this, you got this, you got this, and like basically do like a state inspection for your car at level, like looking over your vehicle for no reason.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And the cop was found out to be in the wrong because they did thankfully fight it.
That's good.
And basically it was like, look, I don't drive manuals that often. It's more of a skill I don't really have. I just needed to move the car for X reason. And there's no law about the acceleration rate of your vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just gun it, but they didn't gun it. They were literally just, they hit the clutch wrong.
Yeah.
And it just popped up a little bit. And it's not even like a full, like, you know, Fast and the Furious, like, Don Toretto, like, with his fucking car, like, legit, like, launching it so fast the hood comes up. It was just like a... Yeah. Is there anything you want to add before we end the episode? I think we're at a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think we are too.
Alright, well...
I'm anticipating our trip over here. I'm just going to do a little teaser real fast. I don't know if we've said anything about it yet.
I don't think we have on the show.
But we're having a little trip, and I'm anticipating it over here. I'm doing a little bit of research, so Ian's will find out.
Oh no, I'm gonna hype it up. Okay.
Okay.
So at the end of June, we actually might set it up so we record it at that event. We'll either figure it out a way to where we're gonna record it something out there.
Mm-hmm.
But late June, late Pride Month, is our anniversary. And we have a couple of times gone camping for our anniversary because we like camping, we like being in the woods and nature. We like touching grass, surprisingly, compared to what other people say on the internet. We actually go outside and touch the fucking grass.
Yes, grass.
So we're going to go to Maryland for a little camping trip.
And they have adult use.
So we're going to review some Maryland-based products.
And I am over here looking at Cumberland, Maryland dispensary menus, which is what I was saying is I'm doing some research.
Yeah, and I will say, I was looking at some of them. Their eighths are ridiculously priced for adult use. Like, depending on the store, there's two. We're close to where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
And I either get 20% off or 22% off with a veteran discount.
Oh.
There's 20% new patient discount, so your first purchase will still get 20% off.
Mm-hmm.
But an eighth of flour is $50.
What the fuck?
Yeah, a G Leaf eighth was $50.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on. That's like 2018 Pennsylvania prices right there.
Right.
And that's before tax.
What the fuck is this? Fireball flavored medicated chews.
Yeah.
10-pack, 100 mil.
I will say, though, that's where you're going to find... We're going to probably review a couple pre-rolls. And then probably some edibles.
That's honestly, I find where you get the best value.
Especially in Maryland and New Jersey.
Decent pre-rolls, they're cheaper and they go about the same price as pre-ground flower in Pennsylvania with a little bit higher quality. Hawaiian pineapple.
So yeah, we're probably going to buy a couple of pre-rolls and then maybe some edibles to review.
Oh yeah, here we go. OCD Miracle, 1 gram G-Leaf pre-roll each. Pack of 2, $16. It looks like a pack of 2 anyway.
Yeah.
Or are they $16 a piece? Even still.
No, it's 2.
It's 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But then you also have like that B-52 bomber from Verano Essence. That was like a 1 gram. It was like what, like $16 or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna like look at that. $60 for a 1 gram Anshine.
What the fuck?
Vape cartridge, that's like...
Yeah, but it was also, my jaw dropped at this lavender Epsom salt soap from Avexia. Because I've had some of this here, but this is 6 ounces, it's $28.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, not at all. I also have some nice CBD products out there, too. This is going to be fun. Yeah. B-52 Bomber, yeah, you said 1 gram J, $14 still. Bonsai Berry, I'm excited about this. This is the Essence. Yeah, I'm real pumped.
So yeah, it's definitely something like I'm excited for, but it seems like the vape and yeah, because how much was that 1 gram vape? Was that like $70? I mean, that's not too bad because like 65 is a 1 gram here from Anshine here in PA. So like the vape cartridges, the edibles, and the pre-rolls is the best bang for your buck if you're going in Maryland, and we're going to talk about a lot of that.
Yes.
So
I'm excited.
We should probably talk a little more after the show, just to kind of be like, how are we going to do this? Are we going to pick one product? Or are we going to like pick a bunch of products to review right together?
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but we got time. We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything you want to add?
Skittles.
I almost forgot our Skittles.
We have Skittles this week.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So my Skittle this week is Eric Asher from Asher's Finest Rosin. He has been at the Pittsburgh Cannabis Festival, I think every year. But definitely since we've been there, we've ran into him quite a bit.
Yeah.
He is a disabled Army combat veteran who presses rosin for people. He doesn't make rosin like a grower processor does. What he does is you go to him and you get it pressed. And I think he's the guy, I'm like 99% sure, he's the guy that does it free for veterans.
Yes.
That's
Asher.
What I didn't know was last year he was on Now This talking about what he does and everything.
That's awesome.
But he reached out and wants us to kind of interact with him at the Cannabis Festival, so I definitely might go get something pressed from him or like get a dab done or something from him, and probably do it while we're live on our event, because we're going to the Pittsburgh Cannabis Festival. You should probably already heard the ad for that.
Yes.
But yeah, no, he's my shout out because like he's a veteran, a cannabis a veteran advocate. Like he's pretty much just like what I do, except I just throw gay on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a YouTube channel, but I'm going to link his Instagram because it kind of links everything. And he also has this little donation page to help with like veteran suicide.
I love that.
So yeah, definitely hit up Eric Asher, and especially if you're in Pennsylvania or the Pittsburgh area in general for the Cannabis Festival. Definitely hit him up. He's a cool guy. I loved interacting with him. I'm going to do it even more this year.
Heck yeah.
All right, your turn.
So my Skittle this week is just very general. Holistic Industries, you guys over at Liberty and Strain are doing some great shit. I was talking up your Jerry Garcia flower the other day. If you were following our Instagram, you saw we found the Garcia crosswalk guy the other day too, and like the tag we found. You guys, your marketing's great. You have great, friendly staff, amazing flower, great cartridges too. They had a 5/10 sale going on the other day.
Oh yeah, for a 5/10 day.
For their cartridges. I don't think many other people did that. You guys are just awesome, and like, just want to give you a shout out.
I would also like to put a preference on here that Garcia hand from the "Don't Walk" sign is just literally that the lights blew out in that fashion. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Now, when you said that, when I saw that, I was like, did somebody shimmy up there with a piece of like electrical tape?
That's what I thought when you said that, but then when we saw it again, I just noticed that you could still see where the bulbs were are, but they're just not lighting up. And I'm like, that's a funny way for the light to go out.
Yeah, especially in Dormont with Liberty on Liberty.
Oh, yeah, there is a Liberty there.
Liberty.
Liberty on West Liberty. That's funny.
Yep.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
That'd be cool if they did.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No, I don't think so.
Alrighty. Well, once again, my name is Rayven. I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Asmodeus. I use they, them pronouns.
And this has been another episode of Smoking Out the Closet. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.